I don't know. Good. Yeah. All right, welcome everyone to our committee meetings for Monday, May 19th. Special committee meetings tonight. We'll start off with those on Health Services Committee.
We're opening up the Health Services Committee meeting at 6:02 p.m. We have two action items this evening. First one, authorizing architectural and engineering services. And my computer just went off.
Here.
Authorizing architectural and engineering services for the community services building. Did we want to discuss anything about this before we vote? No, okay.
So just so we're clear, an option of doing this at the potential new Carroll Senior Center, that
was just kind of a wild thought of one day. Too small.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second it.
Second by Davis. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That's carried. Second item, awarding contract for construction management services, community services building. Discussion on this one?
True.
True makes motion.
You guys have seen, I sent out huge emails. I still don't think that the information that we're being provided is accurate on this, especially in light that there was a revised proposal from Freeman that we didn't know about until this afternoon. So all the questions that I had on this, I think we need more time to actually sit down and go through the numbers, but I know where I stand on it.
I had questions about it until I talked to Sean and he clarified it for me. Does anybody else have questions on it, or are we good to?
I'll second that.
From what I saw, it's only $23,000 difference. Actually,
What would I see
End of
is
the
that,
Depends on how long the project goes.
yeah, but basically Pike is telling you we're gonna do it in 13 months, and Augie Freeman is gonna tell us it could take 17 months, but they're not sure.
Sean, can you give the explanation you gave me, which makes perfect sense?
Yeah, the CM can't dictate the schedule. That's gonna be done by the GC. So their field estimates are, yes, it's not a complicated project, but it is a greenfield project. So if you have a good contractor and you don't have any field problems, 13 months, yeah, you might be done. But if you don't have a good contractor and you run into problems in the field, 13 months becomes 15, 18, 20. So the CM does not dictate the schedule. No,
How does the CM not have a role in the schedule and how that building gets laid out
Well,
and moves forward?
I guess their role is, remember, this would be a 4 prime Wick's Law project. So making sure that the coordination between the primes doesn't delay projects, that you play nice in the sandbox, keeping everything moving would be the way they could keep it short, but dependent upon supplies, delivery, equipment rental, that's something that the contractor wants to get in and out as quickly as possible as well. That's how he's gonna make his money. So they don't really control the schedule in the sense of how much work is involved. Their control is to make sure that it doesn't get exaggerated by primes not working, not sending enough people.
Yeah, I know, but that kind of proves the point of a company like Pike with the resources it has is they're telling you that it's gonna be 13 months. Their confidence is high because they know all of that, and they're telling you it's gonna be 13 months.
I ran the numbers today. If this project takes 13 months, with Freeman, we save $100,000. If it takes 17 months, we save $150,000.
Where do you get those numbers from?
Yeah.
Right here.
That right here doesn't help for the minutes. Where do you get where do you get the
explained
numbers?
it. Right, and I get the same numbers that.
Is that not what I
the
get?
same
The
number.
price per month
And,
from Pike is $10,000 more
right,
right out of the starting date than Freeman. So if it takes 12 months, we save $120,000 by Freeman. If it takes 13, we save $130,000.
Freeman is telling you in their proposal,
That's
and this
gonna
is,
take 17
and this is the new one that.
They're saying
Hang on, this is the new one that you
They said
emailed.
17 to 24 months.
Right here, and I quote, "I don't believe this project would take more than 24 months. The 24-month project cost from Freeman is $723,250. Pike, their entire, everything, all phases is 25 months. Their total cost for the entire project is $573,000.
that's based on a.
That's the total
24-month
project.
construction schedule.
It's the full
That's
project.
the full project.
No, it's not.
So they're
It
lying.
is.
This is what they're proposing.
Yes, and it's based on a 13-month construction length.
Yeah, it's not, the cost out is not
Yeah.
project length, it's construction length.
Right, but even with, Freeman is saying they believe it's gonna take 24 months. And that total cost for 24 months, regardless of what their construction phase is $723,250. That's more than what Pike's,
But what happens if Pike is wrong and it takes 18 months?
they're saying that's the whole project.
They're gonna charge you $36,000 more for month 14, month 15, month 16. So,
Okay, so we have histories with both of these construction management. Was Pike, with the jail build, were they on schedule or were we delayed by 7 months or 8 months or 10 months? And have we been delayed with the Justice Center?
Well, we were delayed on both actually from actions from this board.
No,
Both projects. Both projects.
that has nothing, no bearing on that.
But on the jail specifically.
It has no bearing on that, Pat, none.
Sure it did.
No, it doesn't, not at all.
Starting both of them.
Not at all. The Justice Center was planned to start last spring, regardless of what this board was doing. We had the bids back before the new year. We had the bids back before the new year. We argued about it. We ended up voting and it went before and passed. And because we had a mild winter, that company was in there boring and everything way early than they were when then construction was actually supposed to start for the Justice Center. That's what happened.
And, I think the jail, I think they did a great job on schedule.
But I'm just saying, you have a
And
history
through
with
COVID.
both. You have a history with both. You have one that came in on time, and you have one that's been delayed significantly. So pick your poison. So we have a company that came in on time. They're telling us it's gonna be 573 for everything because they believe it'll be 13 months on their construction schedule. And we have the second bidder who's telling it could be 17 to 24 months.
I'd be hard pressed myself to believe this is gonna be an 18-month project. It's a very simple building, one story. I don't think it's gonna be that at all.
I'm very confident in a 13-month construction.
I'm not, because on their sheet where they made the estimate, right under the price, it said the monthly cost for construction phase services is $36,500 per month, depending on the actual duration of the project. Our fee will be adjusted accordingly. Maybe they think it'll take 13 months. Maybe they just threw that number out there.
The cost per month is the constant.
Right.
That's what you need to look at.
That's the variable.
And for me, I can't see almost a $10,000 a month increase. Regardless.
You
And
guys just
I-
approved 225,000 for a full year of additional construction management costs. And you guys are talking about 10,000?
per month.
Yeah, so we go one more month, 10,000?
But you're not just talking a difference in the cost over here on this building of the construction management price, because you literally need to bring a whole different construction manager in to finish this building if you stop with Freeman. which is gonna be a much higher cost. And I was in Pike's Court on this until I sat down and tried to justify the extra cost per month. Building as simple as the one we're planning over there. in Carroll. I just don't think it's that big of a building to build. No special thing about it, it's commercial office space.
Why are the initial phases so much disparity as well too? Like Pike's coming in at 84,000, or it's an $84,000 difference in pricing for the phase 1 and 2. Why is that like that too? Freeman's coming way higher for phase 1 and 2. And Pike's like $84,000 less for phase 1. Exactly.
Or corporate structure standpoint, Pike is a very large company. Their overhead is, I'm gonna guess their overhead is just larger than.
Yeah, but no, they're less. Like for phase 1 and 2, like phase 1 and 2.
Yeah, Freeman is more up.
Way more. I'm questioning.
They're less, $2,000 less. They're $150,000.
I just don't see how you come up with that, because let's say this project goes 24 months. Freeman's at $612,000 just for construction, phase 3, Pike's at $490,000.
Yeah, but that's it. There's variables on both sides.
You're not awarding a total contract, you're awarding a monthly contract with estimated timeframes. And if the project gets done in 12 months, Freeman's then will be 12 months times their monthly rate of 20, whatever, $5,000. It makes it
And you're
15
saving
months.
$120,000.
It's all contingent upon the number of months. Once you start laying the building construction, not the site planning, not the engineering up front, but shovels go in the ground. You're approving monthly contracts with an estimate, time estimate.
I'm just still very confused at the beginning phase. Why is, if Pike's a larger company with more overhead, why is their phase 1 and 2 so much less than Freeman, who's got how many people?
Well, which Freeman proposal? Because there were two proposals.
The one that's on there right now, I think it is, wasn't it?
Well, don't worry. I
37.5, phase 1 versus 45, Pike.
Okay, so I'm looking at the other one, okay.
So why didn't he revise that? Did he get inside
I'm
information
looking at
on
the,
the,
okay, I'm looking at
on
the,
what Pike had?
Because what was in the agenda packet is the one that has the original phase 1 cost of $62,500.
82.
But then the revised one that you emailed out this afternoon has phase 1 at $37,500, which is a little bit lower, but then their phase 2 is increased $97,750 from $82,700.
So
And then their phase 3 cost went up by $1,000.
$1,000 a month. The change there being the decision to build the second building. They can do both projects at the same time.
And Pike's were just for one building? Is that?
No,
Pike's for both as well?
look, if you want to get clarification by Wednesday, I can do that with both organizations. Make sure that we understand.
I think we should, considering
Vote on the floor.
the history of how a lot of these projects have been done.
Vote on the floor, you first.
I have no problem with that, but also remember, this is a greenfield site. We're gonna have to do everything from clear growth all the way through punch list. So I can get the clarification, no problem. I don't know if that means you hold for final action for Wednesday or.
You're saying you're gonna have them come in, is that what?
Well, I don't know if I can get them in. I can certainly give phone calls in by tomorrow to understand their specific understanding. And why does one think we can get this done on 13th and one is 16 to 24?
Good question.
I'd like the clarification.
We got to vote on the floor, got first and second already.
You do have a first and second.
Yeah, I think I'm right now.
What's that? Ms. True wants to amend the motion, and Mr. Davis second, that's fine too.
Or,
Put her up.
Or, well, I think Robert's rules is if you've got a motion in a second, you vote on it.
Yeah.
Or you amend. And the amendment's gotta get made by the motion.
motion and we can vote to vote, table this till Wednesday.
And we can amend it.
I was just gonna say, motion or,
So.
Until we get the information.
all right, so then I have
No, so we get clarification.
True and Davis, again, to amend
To amend this resolution.
item number 2.
If
well,
needed.
you're just gonna,
We're amending, we're holding,
We're amending
No,
to
you're gonna
table
amend
this resolution till next meeting.
Yeah, are you really amending it or just table?
you're tabling it, right? You're
they would amend your motion to be the table, rather than to.
So they want to rescind their motion in order to table.
Well, unless she just wants to change her motion to amend it.
Be able to start over again. or either amend-
Yeah, I definitely, I mean, I'm relatively sure at what this winds up being. It'll change what I'm thinking on Wednesday, but I'd rather have everybody clear on it.
Well, we need to know, because we're gonna have a special health service.
Special health service.
Finance.
Correct.
All right, so I have an amended motion in section.
Yep.
Yes. All in favor?
That's,
Thank
that's
Pat.
Oh, I'm sorry.
She lost control.
All in favor?
Aye. Aye. For tabling it.
Is there anything else to come before? Health services.
Motion to adjourn.
Thank you. Now,
Second.
I will second and third that one.
The Pilgrim Special Public Safety Committee at 6:19. One action item, authorizing purchase of Justice Text licensed software.
Randolph?
Davis?
Handle Davis, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Thank
Any questions?
Two other things, that I'm sure everybody saw this week, just wanted to congratulate, the sheriff and under sheriff Tracy Quinn, who was named the under sheriff for the county. I think a good move. Well done, sheriff. And I also want to say thank you to the officers who rode down to Washington DC for the police memorial with the police unity tour. About 350 miles bike riding. So, rain, with the grip in the rain. Congratulations to them.
Anything else to bring?
Motion to adjourn.
Linder and Handle, we are adjourned. I'd like to open up the Economic Development and Tourism Committee meeting, 6:21. There are no action items this month, but we do have Jennifer Grimm from the Thomas Cole National Historic Site to give a brief update. Good evening.
Come on up.
Come on up and stand at the podium.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for having me. Thanks for inviting me. Can everyone hear me okay? Not the loudest speaker. Well, I bet all you guys in this room could probably tell me a lot about the town, right, and the house and when the community saved it. And Patty Austin has some good stories of her fort she built, beneath the porch. But I'm here to just give you some updates this year. This is our first full year that we have a new building dedicated to visitors. So now there's a place to sit down, have a coffee. We have a public porch. The site operates as a public park, so the grounds are free every day, dawn to dusk. And we now have a nice porch with chairs and Wi-Fi, some umbrellas. So we really want to help get the word out and let the community know, they can treat this like their own backyard. Dogs welcome. So that's one thing. Another thing, this year is the 200th anniversary of the first time that Thomas Cole came to Catskill. And it was a trip that really changed American art forever. He saw the natural scenery of Greene County here and this mountain ridge line, and he put it on canvas, and it inspired everyone across the country and kind of gave rise to this idea of America the Beautiful. So we're celebrating with a series of events. We're publishing our first children's book, Painting America. We're doing a book signing with Hudson Talbot next weekend. We're also doing an exhibition with another favorite American artist, Georgia O'Keeffe, and we're pairing some of Cole's works from the first time that he visited this area with her works from the first time she visited another part of the states, New Mexico, that had a big influence on her art trajectory, just like this place did on Cole. We also have an exhibition of another Greene County artist, Thomas Cole's daughter, Emily Cole, who painted just really beautiful botanical flower paintings of species that we see all around here. So a very small picture, but it's kind of an expansive show of all really beautiful flowers. So that's up through October. We're gearing up next year for America 250 and working on plans for that. And I think I'll close with some economic impact stats, as that's in the name of the committee. So the last economic impact study on the Thomas Cole House operations, the visitors we bring in, the people we employ, the contractors we bring in, found that it had a $2.5 million impact on the county each year. And then some state reports that were done on Greene County, the last ones that came out, tourism's really doing a lot for this place. 110 million in employment income each year, and revenue from tourism reduces the county residents' tax burden by 17 million. So, there's all sorts of things that art and nature and places of beauty do for us. We're having the sixth graders come next month, but it also has an impact on the bottom line. So we're really grateful for all your support and encouragement over the years. And thanks so much for having me.
Thank you, Jen.
Great.
This evening, we also have April from the IDA. If she would like to come up and give us a update, that would be wonderful.
Good evening. So I'm here for my bi-monthly update. On the hotel, Greene County Planning Board met this morning, and we reviewed and approved the planning actions on the 239, and that gets sent back over to the town planning board. The town of Catskill Planning Board has set the public hearing for May 27th. The board plans to approve the site plan at their June meeting, provided no major concerns are raised. So then that'll be conditioned on the DEC approval. So we've been working on that. The IDA has been working on that. The IDA received an update from Delaware Engineering regarding the meeting between DEC and the village. They are in the process of creating a CSO credit bank. That's Combined Sewer Overflow Credit Bank. DEC approved the work that'll create the initial credits in the bank that will be used by the hotel. So the IDA has already earmarked or purchased those needed credits for $21,540. DEC is working internally on their paperwork regarding that CSO credit bank, and Delaware Engineering anticipates the bank will be up and running in about a month. So, after speaking with the hotel representatives, they set a realistic time frame based on the planning board and working with the CSO credit banks. They're gonna break ground August, September.
How do they, I'm just trying to wrap this over my mind, how do they give credits? What are the credits are for
So
other
for-
places that don't?
No, so the village is working on their, I&I
Yep.
issues. They have like 25 million in, grants.
Grant, right?
So they're separating the combined sewers. This credit bank is based on how many gallons that they're cleaning or fixing and separating. And so the, hotel needed a certain amount, and it's based on, I think, I want to say 2,000, for every 10,000 gallons or something like that. So the calculation is for however many credits you need, you can purchase them and put them, it would be a bank.
The hotel has to purchase,
The IDA
Mhm.
purchased them.
the IDA has to purchase them.
Now, this replaces the whole idea of temporary holding tanks, which
Right.
were estimated to be 500,000 plus, yes. So this is a much softer blow to the budget, and 21,000 is, yeah, drop in the bucket.
April, I got a question.
Yes.
So wasn't the issues that the infrastructure couldn't handle the flow?
Overflow.
The overflow? Yeah. But that problem hasn't been fixed yet.
No, it has, they're fixing it. That's what they're talking about with the previous work that they just did. I think I have a map, but there's different streets that they're working on the separation of those. So that the overflow to the plant is what they're concerned about, and it'll be fixed with these, that's where the credits come from.
So if they keep fixing roads and finish a road, then it allows that much more flow to go. So
The volume,
right,
the influx
flows.
volume.
The total influx goes down because storm has been diverted.
I still just don't see how. Yeah,
To me, the credits just sound like you're just making stuff up.
it just sounds, I
So
don't,
who does the money go to?
I paid the village, so it probably goes towards that budget of fixing things. I mean, there's grants out there, but
it doesn't go to the
money.
DEC.
No,
No,
I paid the village for those credits, for that credit bank.
It's not working, Judith.
Now, are you involved with the project from Columbia Memorial and the Greene Arts
Not yet.
project? 'Cause
They have not approached us yet. We had been in talks with them, obviously, on our 60 acres, and that never came to fruition to build there.
Right,
With the
across the street
county,
from the hotel.
right.
Because there's talk of this whole credit business going on too, where the village is getting paid for credits to use.
I'm not familiar with
Well,
it.
it's similar to what you just mentioned about alcohol.
Similar, I'm sure.
Yeah.
So money goes into an account, and with the grants, they fix their I&I issues. We did a similar thing in Coxsackie when we built the business parks in 2002. So the village had issues in Coxsackie, we couldn't hook up, we had Save-A-Lot coming in, and we helped them with some overflow there too. It's a mediation factor of fixing some of their issues.
But one thing previous, but wasn't the village awarded a grant to fix all these problems?
They were awarded a grant.
So now they need more money.
I don't think it's really about the money, the 21,000, it's a credit bank that they're establishing so that they know how many gallons they can have. The DEC will release those credits in these resolutions moving forward, so that they never get into the situation again, maybe.
April, getting back to the.
I'm with you, Mike.
Getting back to the hotel. And I don't want to get too far out in front of this thing, but is there any talk about the restaurant that they're potentially bringing in?
I've put feelers out. We have that third pad. As soon as the hotel and the situation is done, we will look at buying credits towards whatever the restaurant will need. Can't really market it yet until I have that kind of wrapped up.
And who decides on what restaurant? Would that be the Hampton Inn?
They might say what's a good follower or a good match, but they haven't given me any suggestions yet.
So.
Anybody
ultimately,
can give me suggestions.
Anybody can, okay.
Yes.
Because there seems to be a lot of interest in the common attraction, what restaurant's going to be there?
I have nothing back yet.
Okay. Just, thank you, appreciate it.
April, anything with the 60 acres across 21 West?
Actually, I had two, different, interested parties. One doesn't quite fit, the county, economic plan. And be more for recreational use. And we really want to keep that front for retail so we can get some more sales tax in that area. And then the option expired on the other group or entity, so we can follow up with them. James has met them as well, but I'm not sure where they disappeared.
The last time, you were in a couple months ago, I asked about your Save a Lot. And I go by there and they've done a lot of work to the building.
Yes.
So who's going in there?
I don't know yet. I've spoken with, the CFO, Andrew Winstanley, and he said he has a lot of activity and interest in the building. I think they're holding out for like a one lease for the whole thing, so they don't have to separate it out. But same, whenever we get leads from the state, I present them with ideas. New York State EDC sends us leads all the time. Another one of the problems is water capacity, sewer capacity, so we can't like have a beverage distributor in there. So it has to be a fit.
I think Regeneron was looking at it at one point.
Yes.
Regeneron, then they went north. They bought Quad Graphics up in Saratoga.
Anybody else have anything for April? Thank you. Thank you for coming in. Is there anything else to bring before the?
Motion to
Any
close.
update on the tourism building? That's gonna be open?
We think construction, include the end of the month, first week of June. Move-in, is gonna be tied to the delivery of furniture, so by mid-late June, we should be totally operational. How about I jinx myself?
Summer season.
Yeah.
Anything else? Harry, you have a motion?
A motion.
Second?
Second.
All in favor? Opposed? Is there none? So carried.
Good evening. I'd like to call government operations to order at 6:35. I will get right into our three proposed action items. Number one is resolution number 279-11, adoption of the Greene County Administrative Manual, Section XI-44, Americans with Disabilities Act and Grievance Procedure. I'll make that motion.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Number two, resolution authorizing the chairman of the Greene County Legislature to enter into a payment in lieu of taxes pilot agreement with True Blue Solar One LLC. Once again, I'll take that resolution.
Second?
Chairman Davis, Irene, where is this gonna be located exactly?
Ray Ward?
Right behind our solar field.
Right across the street where we're building the mental health.
It comes in the other end.
Behind Rogers?
Yeah, it comes in the other end of our solar field.
Oh, so that road's still Main Street.
Yeah,
Okay.
it actually almost butts up to our property behind the county office building and the park.
Stamp it,
Gotcha.
drive up there. Where they go.
Is it a better location where our solar,
I don't
field
think,
is?
Ray, I don't think.
this deal's been going on for years. There was actually one initial company that achieving with 17 people. Should we had to negotiate pilot? They withdrew because of the obstacles to the site. I think part of that's been resolved. It's being the utility side of it, being able to connect. This company is moved forward. And I guess for the freshman legislators, we ought to bring them up to speed a little bit. In 2022, this legislature adopted a local law establishing our set rate at 87.50 a megawatt. That still holds true for all our solar facilities. This one is no different. To my knowledge, I have one more. I actually got a phone call this afternoon. Been negotiating with these people since 2021. It's been through 3 different LLCs and corporations. It's a nightmare. I actually was probably the guy on the phone. He said, I'm getting sick, tired of getting months. You expect us to drop everything, cater to you. So we'll probably be coming back either next month, July with that one. That'll be the same, pretty much the same terms. One other thing with this one, the attorney that represents both Carroll Durham School District and Greenville School District has kind of turned the pilot on its to these companies. This one agreed to it. So that's why you see, if you look at the schedule of payments, this agreement does not include the school district as all our other. They are taking 100%, they're taking a haircut of 5% of what their pilot payment would be over 15 years, taking it all on year one as an educational contribution, hence removing themselves from the pilot payment, allowing them to take that as an educational contribution, keep it out of their tax levy, their market fund.
How much is the educational contribution again?
What?
How much is the educational contribution?
I didn't bring that info with me. How much?
95% of what the pilot.
35 a month.
35 what?
So if the
3,500.
pilot over all these years, let's just say it's 100,000, it'd be 95,000.
For education,
Whatever their earmark.
for education.
Yes.
And it's earmarked.
One shot deal.
Now we go to the Carroll Durham School District?
Yeah.
So in this one, $369,000. Well, 15 years, but they're gonna get it in year one, automatically. Mechanical completion, they'll get 5% of that, 300 or 95% of 360. And I'm not a party to their contract.
Yeah, no.
So I can't give you I just know what the cable run out would have been had they been part of us.
Mhm.
And that's what they've negotiated separate.
Figure at least 300.
350/50. So that's gonna be up front.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Thank you.
So that's, look for that same, scenario with the next one coming down. As far as I know, I'd have to look back. Keep the one coming down the road in the next month or two is the last one that we've been noticed and have, started negotiations at some time.
Where was that going, Ray?
I didn't bring that with me.
Sorry, that's okay.
It's in Carroll.
Yeah, up in Apron, isn't it?
No, that one got built.
That's already done.
Yeah, down off of.
23, old 23, old 23.
Go up.
Uh,
Go up. Oh,
This might be the one out on, County Route 67 on the south side. Behind,
But that's freehold.
That's
actually Tower Carroll. It's right on, it's on the south side of Scary.
Further up the hill.
Yeah,
If you go there, that side. you go.
I believe that's the one that I
Yes,
was
I
talking to
believe that.
today, but I didn't really get it that quick. It was late this afternoon.
What, the Mass Thunderhorn? Over here?
No, I think it's on Fourth of it.
Yeah.
I think if you're on that road, you'll see they put it into chill.
Oh, I have to take a look at it. Okay, thank you.
So Ray, for the new legislators, before 22, when legislature passed the law, solar fields weren't required to pay any kind of taxes, right?
No, they have the ability, all of them are required to notice us. And then we are required within 60 days of that notice to notice them whether or not we want to negotiate a payment in lieu of tax.
In 22, NYSERDA stopped giving a recommendation as to what the average should be. They just wouldn't give you an answer. So we established that.
Right, and what, if you remember back 3 years ago, what we settled on was actually high. We were doing at 8,000 a megawatt. And then we had in our very initial negotiations in 2017 and 18, there was a educational contribution that was worth $750 a megawatt per year over 15 years. So we wrapped that into one, got out of this whole educational contribution, got a little more money for the town and county up front. And then, like I said, I have a school district, an attorney for a school district, who's pretty sharp. That come up with this and sold it to his school board. So that's the way to go. I think it's a smart move. I wish, somebody else would come up with it, because when the next one, and there will be a next one, I will probably in the opening negotiation round for that school attorney and say, hey, we've got two other ones. You might want to give this attorney a call and talk to them about how they negotiate.
Yeah, I mean, they can do something with $300,000.
Absolutely. Yeah, they have to earmark it, is my understanding. But because it's not part of their levy calculation, it's out of their tax cap situation.
Sure.
Are they required to reduce their levy by that amount?
No, but if you think about it, these solar companies, solar fields, whether it's residential, commercial, industrial, by law, once you pass a law that says you're exempting solar, you can't differentiate between residential, commercial, and industrial, just that the law also specifies commercial and industrial. They have to notify you and ask if you're going to require a pilot.
And I have looked at increasing, whether we should amend our local law, go above 8750. I'm actually waiting the converse of that, because I believe that although it just got struck down in the courts by Schoharie County's towns, this model that is required by legislation to be used to value these things. And granted, if they're in a pilot, they're only being valued for special district purposes because they pay full tax on that. We're waiting to see what the appeal is going to be on that. But I'm looking at year 5 of a 25 run discounted cash flow model where actually it'll be possibly running in the negative values. That's how bizarre this model that the state legislature told DTF to create. And that's how the lawsuit from Schoharie County, the first one got canned by last year's legislation in last year's state budget that said that they didn't need to do it by their own rules. They could go outside the rules. So that made the lawsuit null and void. So the towns brought another lawsuit against them. And in reading the decision, there's no reason. It really comes down to you and I have had this discussion a lot over the rec credits that they're receiving and where they're receiving them, whether they're receiving them up front or not. Also looking at income tax credits that these companies are receiving, and none of that is being accounted for in the discounted cash flow. And I argued it, me and NISAC and Apple argued this to blue in the face. We didn't get very far. We got a little bit. Glad that Gilboa, there's 8 towns up here. Joint lawsuit. And they won this time around. Who knows what the state, I'm waiting for the day they just say today's good. Yeah, but we'll see. Yeah. But I just wanted to update you and the legislators that, we've established our rates by law. To give you an example, I have done the math in a lot of recent history, but we were gaining about 35 to 45% of what the actual tax revenue would be for the period of the pilot, which was unheard of. We were well above what my service was saying. That, Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, before I lost control, I made that motion. Do we have a second?
Second, Mr. Lick.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Okay, number 3, authorizing a distribution of the mortgage tax. Martinez, do I have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Well, unless anyone has something to go before government operations.
Motion to close.
Second.
Second.
Well, thank you.
Okay, we'll call finance committee to order. On pool number 12, authorized purchase of new 24 Ford Super Duty F-350 truck. Time the superintendent called the dealer was already sold, so. Anyways, that one's gonna be. So we'll begin. Number one, resolution authorizing the chairman of Greene County Legislature enter into payment in lieu of taxes agreement with True Blue Solar One LLC.
Glenn.
True. Leonard, Mr. Rivera. All in favor of that?
Aye.
Oh, that's carried. Number two, request for proposal, short-term rental compliance service.
Davis.
Davis. Linger. Chairman Linger, second. All in favor of that?
Aye.
Oh, that's also carried. Number three, authorizing architectural and engineering service for the community service building. Linger. True.
Chairman, I just want to reiterate, we're gonna have this architectural firm coming in here and
Yes,
discussing with us how this building's gonna be
yes,
built.
absolutely.
All right, good. No skylights for this building
Or chandeliers.
or
Or
chandeliers.
chandeliers, either one, please.
I'm ready, skylight.
And a swimming pool, just a second, right?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Favorite.
Gotta vote.
Linger, True, we need a vote. Thank you.
Aye.
Aye.
Also carried. Third floor, awarding contract for construction management service, community service building.
That's the one we're tabling. Yes.
Oh, that one.
Oh, yeah.
Tabling committee.
Hold it. All right. Number five, authorize a change order, number 7-18, Greene County Justice Center contract. GC 001, general construction.
Davis.
Davis, second.
Second. Carol.
Yes.
All in favor of that?
Aye.
Oh, that's carried. Number six, authorize the purchase of justice tax life law. Davis,
Linger.
Richard, second. All in favor of that?
Aye.
Oh, that's carried. Seven is authorizing contract, typical eligibility verification system, EVA.
True.
Mr. Bewley, second. All in favor?
Aye.
Oh, that's also carried. Number eight, authorizing expansion services for the replacement of the county route one culvert over Brown Kill Creek. And number 010047 HAL Town of Halton.
Mike.
Like. Second, all in favor of that?
Aye.
Oh, that's carried. Number nine, authorization and funding. Cost of 100% of the cost of a transportation project which may be eligible for federal aid and or state aid or reimbursement from Rich New York funds.
Buick.
True. Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Oh, that's carried. 10, authorizing bid to purchase materials, highway department.
Davis.
Buell's, Mr. Davis, second, all in favor?
Aye.
Oh, that's carried. Number 11, awarding bid for wash and screen stone.
Linger.
Buick.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
12 in full. 13, authorizing vehicle purchase, Greene County Department of Human Services.
Davis.
Buell's and Mr. Davis. Favor of that? I know that's carried.
Yeah, true. I get true view.
My voice, Charlie.
Some helium or something.
Number 14, authorize agreement, Greene County Mental Health Center with Carroll Durham Central School.
Len,
Letter.
true.
True. All in favor?
Aye.
Oh, that's carried. 15, authorize agreement, Greene County Mental Health, Wyndham Ashland Jewett Central School District.
Len,
Mr. Lake, Mr. Buick, second. All in favor of that?
Aye.
Oh, that's carried. 16, authorized agreement, Greene County Public Health Department, assuming Albany.
Davis.
Lennon.
Second,
Len.
for Leonard. All in favor of that?
Aye.
Oh, that's carried. 17, authorized the purchase of narcotic analyzer, Greene County Public Health Department and Greene County Sheriff.
Davis.
David.
Window.
Oh, Lieutenant, second. All in favor?
Aye.
Both, that's carried. Number 18, authorized out-of-state travel, DRE training, Deputy Steve Ryan.
Davis.
Dave.
Len.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Both, that's carried. 19 is authorizing distribution mortgage tax. I'll take
True.
that.
Mark, that's
Second.
true.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Oh, that's also carried. 20, establishing project, capital project number 164, public safety, answering point grant, 24.
Davis.
Buick.
Davis.
Second. Favor of that.
Aye.
Oh, that's carried. Number 21, establishing capital project 165-2024, statewide interoperable communication.
Len.
Leonard,
Finger.
Sheriff. Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Oh, that's carried. 22, budget amendment, Greene County Public Health, Greene County Family Planning, Greene County Early Intervention.
Davis.
States. I'll second it.
Mr. Chairman, I have a question on that. These are these funds basically reallocated because they weren't spent last year? On this?
Yeah, they are reappropriation of.
So we're required to reappropriate them even though they didn't spend them already? I mean, if I remember right, there's some of these monies that have been rolling over because they're not getting spent. So at what point do you say you need the money?
Oh, some of them, like BGA, is a 5-year term. Actually, quite a few of them expire within this fiscal year, so we won't be reappropriating as many next year.
Okay.
But that gives us the authority to reappropriate them, obviously. They've dwindled down, and potentially some funds could be, depending on how things pan out at the federal and then state level, you know, we
Right.
could end up
Right.
moving either out.
But as of what I was looking at, it's over $1 million. Overall, right?
Yeah, most of it is tied to that 5-year BGA award, which, 5-year term. But they do have, plans to spend it. I think that was currently funding that'll be used for the, analyzer.
Okay.
That'll be used in the sheriff's department. So they're not just spending it within the department, they're trying to collaborate with public safety.
Yeah, mental health, public health, and the sheriff's office, so they're kind of combining this on.
Yes, it falls under public health, but they're collaborating to get those funds out.
Thanks, Kevin.
Yep.
Thanks, Mr. Chairman.
Favor?
Aye.
All that's carried. 23, budget amendment, insurance recovery, Greene County Sheriff. Benito? Senate, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, that's carried. 24, budget amendment, insurance recovery, solid waste. Approved. Lincoln, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, that's also carried. 45, is authorization to pay claims highway.
Lennon.
Leonard,
Davis.
first, second, all in favor?
Aye.
Oh, that's also carried. Here's the resolutions, we have orders, right?
26, we do 26.
26.
46, right, page 20.
Lemon.
Take that. That's the one. Fair.
Alright, now we have.
Happy.
Good evening, everybody.
You know there.
All right. Greene County payments on delinquent taxes. In summary, the collection of delinquent taxes in April of 2025 totaled $443,849.39 compared to $351,704.60 in April of 24, an increase of $92,144.79. Year-to-date payments for 2025 collections are $2,709,990.28 compared to $1,975,459.08 in 24, an increase of $734,531.
They're doing an auction, I'll do that now.
Yeah, it may help a little bit. So 747,000 additional. Greene County sales tax received as of May 7, 2025 is $15,078,932.24 compared to $14,522,711.96 in 24, for an increase of $556,220.85 or 3.83%. We're still trending higher than the state averages. Greene County town collection statuses. Total from town collections this year is $36,879,474.29. Payments received from towns for the current tax receipts totals $17,413,533.33.
That's typical, like less than half.
Yeah, and we're not seeing a big amount rolling in at the moment. It's slowed down to a trickle. So we're hoping to start seeing.
Yeah, we're holding on to it. That's exactly what I was thinking.
Making that extra percentage.
They're making their flow percentage, just like Mr. Bulish has said. So the next thing we have is, well, if anyone would like to see an analysis of the sales tax, I think you have them in your packet, but you can see that we're doing pretty well there. Let's go over to those delinquent taxes. The Game Farm property paid their past due balance. So one of our top 25 came in. The original amount owed $40,711.99. Adjusted amount $41,526.23. Additional penalties at $8,963.64. On April 28th, we received $50,489.87. So we've had another one drop off our top 25 and refilled by the new number 25. Every month I try to have a little something for you to provide some transparency as well as some idea of what we're trying to accomplish over in the corner of the fourth floor. This one's going to start out with Mr. Groden. Mr. Groden asked me to find a way to have a preliminary look at our budget from last year, remaining accounts payable, remaining accounts receivables. And we had targeted the month of March to do that. We had a meeting with my leadership staff, Kevin and Sean. They hashed out all the different issues that we thought could be potential things to look at and bring to resolution. I'm going to thank the administrator now for asking me to make this happen because last week the auditors left after 3 or so weeks camped out up on the fourth floor. In my exit interview, they asked the treasurer all the different questions of knowledge of certain things, action items taken, what our positions are on some different things. And one of the questions was, what are we doing differently? I shared that experience, and the head auditor stopped doing what she was doing and started paying attention. And, because I was doing an interview with one of the junior colleagues, if you will. And her response was, that's great. So the result was, I believe, I'm doing this from memory, I didn't write it down, but I believe last year, our journal entries after audit, now keep in mind, it's not completed, but their process here is done, were 26, which is still not bad for the size of organization we run. However, this year, 8.
Now, that's the state patrolling office, correct?
That's actually our auditors.
Oh, our,
That's our auditors that represent, or, and
Got it.
represent us in our books.
got it.
So, the purpose of the function, I don't want to take words out of Sean's mouth, but was to give earlier insight into what our numbers look like, how we're flowing, those sorts of things. And, make sure we ring out the accounts receivable, accounts payable, our bills are paid. There's very few of those accounts payable scenarios, but accounts receivable. And as a final result, we basically got to some journal entries and made sure of what we were doing before the auditors even got here. Cleaned it up a little bit. And it provided Sean the insight I think you were looking for.
Yeah, the concern I had is that we always waited for the independent auditors to issue us our final year-end financial condition, which could be as far as midsummer. So we always felt we were blind as to what we were at the end of the previous fiscal year, 8 months into the new year, and we really didn't have an exact notion of how we ended the previous year. That's too far. And my biggest fear is that because of the sales tax impact that we have enjoyed over these last few years, which is the primary reason why we've run the surpluses overall with that, is going to dry up over the next 2 or 3 years as we've talked in our budget review, as we increase the sales tax estimate in order to absorb the budget and maintain a 0% tax rate increase. As we reach that plateau of what the new sales tax annual amount could be, and therefore have less of a projected annual surplus, the county needs to know that information in April, not in August. The auditors issue their final report. So kudos to staff for reducing those journal entries so that we had a better idea of where we are. As that largesse goes away, we're going to be more inclined to need to understand where we are financially as soon as we can. So, thank you.
So we're going to continue to increase our ability, be nimble. And the last thing I have to report is as you all know, you authorized us to begin to look at our cash flow and our investments. And that's the 3+1 cash vest program that you authorized back in January, I want to say. So we had done our work with them and got them the data they needed. So we're just getting ready to start our first input of new data because it's already been 3 months. It's hard to believe at times, but they got back to us as well during that first meeting just before a meeting prior to this last request to update our numbers. And they asked me a few questions as in that meeting, and one was, we recommend that you update your investment policy. You guys recall doing that? Mm-hmm. We were ahead of them. They said we need to have CDRs available for us as a municipality. I let them know, we checked that box already. We're done with that. We've done that. They asked us to update our depositories, and that we were running a little close on some of our numbers as far as the amount of money we have with our deposits versus our legislation we have in place. You guys are already done. We checked the box already. So their initial feedback to us was, you guys are on the right track. You're actually doing things before we're even telling you to do them. So what that tells me is that the county in general, the staff at the treasurer's office we're moving in the right direction. We had some instincts to go in that direction. They've only proven that our instincts are right. So, we're gonna continue to do so, and hopefully every month I can give you a little bit more stuff like this to let you know that, the fourth floor is definitely moving in the right direction. Any questions?
Excellent job.
All right, all right, have a good night, everybody.
Thank you.
Anything else come before finance?
Motion to close, Mr. Chairman.
Second.